Welcome, everybody, to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Hey, everyone, John here. I want to jump on today. Today is a special day. It is Super Bowl Sunday. And for those of you that live here in the United States, I'll tell you, it's one of those days. It doesn't matter whether your team is playing or not playing. A lot of festivities, a lot of Super Bowl parties, a lot of things are occurring today that people have to prepare for. And that's what I want to talk about today. Just think about everything that goes into putting on the Super Bowl, from the pregame festivities to the game itself to the celebration ceremony that occurs afterwards. All of that, people spend months, if not years, preparing to make it happen. And as frontline managers, it got me thinking, what do we do to prepare ourselves for the week, if not month or, by week ahead? And I came up with a couple topics that I wanted to share with you today, or a couple items that I do to prepare as much as I possibly can so I can be successful. The first thing is I always try to look 1 to 2 weeks ahead. I don't really look farther than 2 weeks ahead unless I'm going to be on leave or I have somebody on my team who is taking leave and we need to provide some support for them, some backup. And here's why. I've done monthly calendars and monthly planning before, and the way that things change so much in this day and age, when 2 weeks on down the road into my month and something comes up and I have to either bump some meetings or take a whole day to address it, now everything else is impacted that I've planned for that month. If it's just a 2-week snapshot, it's a little bit easier for me to bump schedules around. So I only look 2 weeks ahead, if that. The second thing, address what's most important and get it done first. Monday mornings are my time to settle in, again, get my bearings, get anything else that I need off of my plate that maybe came late Friday afternoon, because we are a global entity and we work across time zones. So when I get off work on Friday, doesn't mean everybody else is off work on Friday. So I hit those things first. And then Monday afternoon is where I start addressing the most important items, Monday into Tuesday morning. I have a lot of my meetings that I conduct, my team meetings, and a couple of my really, really important weeklies that I do on Tuesday morning. Monday afternoon, I reserve for those meetings that I need to get done to address any important topics, decisions that need to be made. And here's why. If you think about it, have you ever volunteered for something and you got to stand up in front of people? Whether that's an introduction, I'm sure we've all been to training before, and they go around the room and everybody's introducing themselves. Are you that person that waits till the end to introduce themselves, or the beginning that introduces themselves? Well, I was the one that waited till the end. And so as everybody was introducing themselves, I'm sitting there and I'm like, the anxiety is building up, the pressure is building up for me to get up, not trip over myself, and actually get out who I am. I've known myself all my life, but still. So what I've taken from that is get it done first. Get those important things done first. Check them off your list. It just creates momentum for me. Everything else is downhill in the week. It's like, man, I've checked off those couple important items and now I'm ready to conquer the world, right? Not that nothing important is going to pop up, but at least the important things on my radar, I've checked those off. So I try to get those done early in the week. The third thing is I plan out the meetings. So my meetings that I can conduct, that I do conduct, either I'm leading them or I'm the one that creating the agenda. There's 3 things that I do as far as agenda creation, and this is for every agenda topic. Now, if it's just a team weekly meeting and we're providing updates, I don't do it for every topic, but I do it for the overall meeting. The first one is purpose. What is the purpose of your meeting? Are we meeting just to meet? Tell you, I got so many meetings on my calendar and I walk in the door or I log on virtually and I have no idea what the purpose is. We spend about 10 minutes figuring that out and now we're into the agenda. So that's 10 minutes wasted. So identify the purpose of your meeting right up front. The second one is the process. How are you going to conduct that meeting? Is it going to be a weekly go-around where you're going to call on each person to provide updates? Is it more of a discussion session where you present the agenda topics and then you call on the experts to discuss? Is it a brainstorming session? So you want people to bring ideas. You're going to present a challenge, you're going to present a problem, and you're going to brainstorm a solution. So that brings me to my third one. So there's one purpose, 2, what's the process? How's the meeting going to run? And 3, what preparation do they need? So back to the brainstorming session. If they need to bring ideas to the meeting for a brainstorming session, you better let them know up front that they're going to have to do that. Because if you don't, now you got to give them a little bit of time. If they're like me, I'm a processor. It takes me a little bit to get going and to generate some ideas on a topic. You're going to have folks on your team that are like that. So let them know up front. If they have to review a document and then you're expecting some feedback from that document, you better give them up front. They got to read that document prior to coming in the meeting. So those 3 things. And at first, it might be a little bumpy as you're integrating them into your meeting invites. But after a while, people are going to be asking you, hey, John, what's the purpose of this meeting? You forgot to put that in there. Oh, well, I'll go back in and, I'll put it in there and I'll send it out. Or do I need to prepare for anything? They condition almost the team to expect purpose, process, and preparation. And then last but not least, and this one, as frontline managers or as frontline leaders, we definitely have to be adaptive and fluid. I like to call that. That's preparing for emergencies. How do you prepare for an emergency, John? Well, for me, I like to program white space into my calendar. 1, if anything comes up, I'm not having to shift a bunch of things. I can say, Wednesday afternoon, I have some space. I keep my calendar really up to date. I'll program in something if I need to address it. Or, Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning, wherever I create that white space during the week. And each week it could be different. I have some monthly meetings. I got some bi-weekly meetings. So each week's going to look a little different on where I put that white space. I program that in my calendar. I make sure that I put, whether it's a planning slot or it's a me slot. So that way when others get on there, they can identify that as, hey, this is John's white space, or this is John's area to where either I'm catching up on things that I need to get done, or I'm looking ahead to prepare for the next week, or I use that time if an emergency does come up. That's my time that I use to address it there. So that's how I prepare my week, and just simply looking ahead 1 to 2 weeks always helps out. There's always something that's going to come up, but do the best that you possibly can. Get those most important things out of the way. Schedule them Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning time frame. Get them out of the way if they're a difficult discussion you have to have, or if it's a meeting that you've been putting off. Get it done early in the week. 3, plan out your meetings. So come up with that purpose, process, how you're going to run the meeting, and then any preparation that individual needs or team needs to prepare for that meeting. And then schedule that white space in for emergencies. I think this is important just in time management period, is to give ourselves some white space. I always see meetings coming in that people have access to my calendar, so they start putting meetings on my calendar, and I never have a chance to not accept, because a lot of them are important. But if I schedule that white space, they'll look for alternative times to schedule that kind of stuff. So always be thinking ahead. It'll help you prepare. I hope this helps somebody today. Go be great this week through your preparation. We'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us get others to where they're going.